You're tuned into Trax Momentum right now, approaching 11:18 a.m. on the interview hour of the show. Kong Yu, as always, with you till 2 p.m. Yeah, but in this hour, I'm actually joined by a whole group of lively, I guess in my age, I would call them lively youngsters. Okay, but young ladies and a young gentleman join me in the studio right now to talk about their interest actually and their work in conservation efforts. Great stuff, yeah? Welcome to the studio, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. And we're talking to 4 people in the studio at the moment. Speaking to Selva Ganesh Prasad, who is in the 4th and final year of Environmental Science Studies at Universal Putra, Malaysia. Selva.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
Okay, good. And nice to meet you. And also speaking to Jolene Tan, right, who is a 3rd year environmental science student from Nottingham University. Hi, Jolene.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
All right, great stuff. And I actually know a lecturer in Nottingham University. We'll talk about that during the song break. Okay, great. So that's 2 out of 4. And also speaking to Crescenda Christopher.
Yes.
Right.
Hi.
Right. Interesting name.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out who was who were the ladies and who was the gentleman or gentleman. So it's good to see you. And Crescenda, you are a 2nd year finance major. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. From McGill University, Canada. I'm assuming you are either about to leave for Canada or you're on a break.
I'm on my summer break.
Oh, you're on your summer break.
Yeah.
Nice. How long will you be in Malaysia?
I
Or back
left
home?
right after my exams, so I have entire 4 months here.
Oh, you've got
Yeah.
still a few more months to go.
Yep.
Nice. And I'm also speaking to Li Shen Wei.
Yes.
Right? Hi, and who is a 2nd year dental student of International Medical University at Bukit Jalil.
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, all right. We are talking about your involvement with EcoKnights today, and it's so amazing to see such a wide, literally wide perspective or spectrum of you guys who come from so many different backgrounds, all jumping on board. I guess you can say the Go Green effort, the wonderful work that EcoKnights is doing to support the environment and to create more awareness as to environmental issues and things like that. So it's great stuff, and it's I love the fact that we're keeping a little bit, how shall we say, a little bit. The term that comes to mind is coal, but that's not what exactly I mean. It's good that I didn't really read out too much about you guys, because then we can have a bit more of a spontaneous conversation. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Let's start in order of I shall say maybe how you're seating right now. I think that makes a bit more sense for me. So that I don't get confused between the 4 of you. Okay, you might want to just swing the mics to you when I'm talking to you at length, because that will pick up a little bit better. Yeah.
All right.
Now, let's start with you, Shen Wei.
Yes.
Okay. Good to have you here, and tell us a bit about your studies right now. You're doing you are a dental student.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, and so. International Medical University, of course, it's a medical institution.
Yeah.
University.
Yeah.
What made you choose dentistry?
What made me choose dentistry?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't know if I can say this on air, but I genuinely, I never really had a good experience, like, going to dentists, and I think most of us have, like, dental anxieties,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still do,
Yeah.
Whenever we hear the drill going on,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
scary, but I don't know, like, I think I don't know, as time passed by, like you do see that it's a very noble profession.
Sure.
There's a lot going on, like you don't just think that it's just about teeth. That's even a misconception that I had when I started studying.
Right.
So it's more than that. It's like like my lecturers always say, your head and neck still attached to the body. So yeah, a lot goes on.
Literally, yeah. And how is it going so far? I mean, in summarize for us, I mean, are you, is it so tough that you find it so challenging and difficult to deal with, or is it sort of really interesting for you at this stage and you can't wait to kind of study more and jump into being a dentist, for example?
Okay. I don't know if there's any dental students out there listening to this, but I think all of us can agree that it's a really, really tough course.
Yeah,
it's very
sure.
challenging.
Yes.
But it's really nice when you see, like, when we get to do practical things, because you really see the books come alive, and that's when, like, it's very it's a really nice feeling, very rewarding.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And share with us as how you found out a little bit or more information about EcoKnights. EcoKnights, of course, is one of the members of the coalition called the Malaysia Environmental NGO Coalition Group, which gathers together all these wonderful groups which are doing excellent work with conservation and the green movement. Yeah. How did you find out about EcoKnights?
I've actually been following the events that they've had. It really caught my attention. Example, the KL Eco Film Festival, the CLEF.
Yes.
They've done events like that. I always wanted to join, but I didn't get the opportunity to. So right now, I'm actually on my very rare holiday. So I just wanted to do something that's very meaningful, and as well as pursue, an interest and a passion that I have. So I'm taking this opportunity to come here and be an intern here.
Great. And at the moment, of course, you are the assistant to the program manager.
Yeah.
Right, Fadli, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. We will speak more about your experiences with the EcoKnights in just a while.
Sure.
And in the meantime, of course, just before we move on to the next person, how did you, it was interesting you said that you knew about this even before through activities, and in what way?
Oh, newspapers, social media, just that.
Yeah, because one of the things that we're going to talk about is that people, like students like yourselves, how did you get involved, and how is the awareness between your peers, for example? Yeah, so we talk about that a little bit. Let's actually talk about that right now, since we're on the topic. I'm also speaking right now to the thorn among the roses. But a nice looking thorn, don't get me wrong. Silva Ganesh Prasad, Marimutu, who is a fourth year student environmental science. Now, this of course now is pretty much right up your alley in terms of what you're doing with environmental science. Is that how you got involved, Silva, with EcoKnights?
Not exactly.
Okay.
But I was actually the past participant for 2011 Anugerah Hijau green film category.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So as I was doing, ironically, was doing environmental science. So me and my friends thought of joining this competition. So as we were the mature filmmakers.
Right.
At that time, it wasn't in our mind at all to join this competition. It was just a last minute. So it got me involved into EcoKnights, and I thought it is a great platform for youths like us to actually bring environment to the layman, because when I was doing environmental science back in school, it was actually all about laboratory stuff, and we were dealing with chemistry environment, biology environment, mathematics environment, so it was all within us.
So this is your fourth year as a student. How did you get, before you made the choice of going to environmental science, what was that process like, and why did you choose it?
Okay, first of all, I'll choose it because I inspired to make some changes, me, myself, and not to change people.
Right.
So,
nice.
Environment is everything outside of us. So that it's all around us. So that's the most important thing that we should learn, first of all, because this is what we're going to leave behind to the future generation. So I thought of, from becoming a doctor, which I inspired to be a veterinarian. So I thought, just dealing with one particular thing in nature.
Okay.
So why don't I be a doctor of environment? So that's what I choose.
That's nice. Yeah. I mean, I know somebody who is in your age group. I think she's slightly older because she's now in her the post grad studies, and she's studying to be a vet. And she's almost done. I've seen some pictures from her Instagram, and she used to be a student of mine in an unrelated sort of art sort of thing, and it was quite nice. I mean, when she said she wanted to be a vet, because it's like a difficult course, dentistry, all the stuff that you guys are doing is tough as well, and I thought it was such a lovely thing to take care of animals and all that, because she truly, she's one of those that I knew, because of her background, she truly had a thing about caring for all animals, and that's why she wanted to be a vet. So that's sort of like you, Selva, except that you were thinking even more on a bigger scale, environment in general. Now, is that a trend? I'm speaking to four youths, I guess you can call them, four students today about their efforts with EcoKnights, which is part of the MENGO umbrella group in terms of conservation coalition agencies, organizations and all that. And also speaking earlier on in more detail with Shunwei, as well as two other young ladies as well, Chrysandra as well as Jolene Tanya, who will be introducing themselves in more detail later. What do you guys think about the awareness? I mean, Selva said, you know, like even before he chose environmental science to focus on as his degree, he was already interested in sort of, I guess you can say, taking care of the environment or wanting to be part of that, to care for it, and so that we have a better future, yeah, for all of us and for our next generations as well. What about you guys, ladies, Cassandra and Jolene? Was that something that you guys or your peers talk about a lot? How is it? Share with us from your honest perspective.
Honestly, my environmental exposure thing came in elementary school, primary school.
Wow.
Yeah, my teacher, in class teacher when I was standard 6, if I'm not mistaken, was really into like recycling and don't throw your rubbish everywhere kind of a person. So it got me really interested.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, that the teachers, your teachers, and this is what, share with us, is it a public school? Is it Sekolah Kebangsaan? Was it a private school?
It was a Chinese primary public school.
Right, right. And she was already talking about recycling and things like that. And so that sparked your interest, yeah?
Yeah, because it's really weird for like, when you're standard 6, you don't really care about these kind of things, right?
Right.
Like, I ate my bread and I got this plastic bag with me. I just dump it into the rubbish bin. Wow, there's like 3 bins right beside you saying plastic only.
You're right. And in fact, I have to say, I've been seeing people around me, and also sometimes myself, my oversight myself, I forget about those things sometimes too.
Yeah.
So I can imagine people who are completely unaware, and they're like, okay, you know, what does that all mean? I mean, the compartmentalization and how you separate and everything. Before we go for a break, what about you, Jolene? What have you found in your experience? At which point did it spark your interest in environmental related issues? How are your peers like in this aspect?
Basically, I learned to love more, wanted to know more about environment through TV channels like National Geography, Discovery channels, and it always interests me like how the world is actually function and how waterfall came about and how volcanoes actually sparks and stuff.
Okay.
And the thing is that my mom, since young, she always tell me like, you know, don't waste food, don't simply throw the foods and trash and around. But I don't really understand. But our house, we don't really practice like the three hours. But the thing is that I really want to know how is it to motivate people to actually practice this and why is it sustainable?
Nice.
Because we always want to do something with a purpose, right? So that's what I'm really curious about.
I like that. So yours came from more of a curiosity sort of a thing.
Yes, I'm a
how do
curious
things
cat.
work? You're a curious cat with 9 lives. Excellent stuff. Yeah, we were speaking, of course, just to wrap up this first segment of the interview. Selva, you were saying, you know, your interest started on a very grand scale, I would say, right? When you were really young. How have you found your studies so far with environmental science, and what do you hope to achieve with your degree when you finish? Because you are finishing fairly soon.
Oh, yes, I do.
Right.
So what I do want to achieve is actually my dream is actually
share with us
to make the environmental knowledge to get to the layman, a normal person in public. So we scientists usually, myself, I think first when I came to this degree, I was just an environmental scientist, but not an environmentalist.
Right.
So, but with those pathways, I changed myself. I think being more closer to the environment makes you feel good. So what I want to deliver this knowledge of environment, like recycling, upcycling, towards the layman, towards the public, in a best and effective way. So that's my dream.
That's nice. So you're gonna share with us, share with the world at large your technical knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, and become more of an environmentalist from your education background, from your degree.
Yes, I do.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking to 4 special guests today, is four bubbly students on environmental issues right here on Trax Momentum. So more with them are coming up after this one. You'll like this one. I don't know whether it's consensus across the board. Calvin Harris, Summer, but he makes fun songs. I have to say. Back in just a few minutes, right here on Trax. 11:36 a.m. on the clock. You tune in to Trax Momentum right now. Kong, you with you, keeping company on the show, bringing to you a special feature right now. Speaking to 4 special guests on my show, all doing work right now for a group that's called EcoKnights. Check them out. They do wonderful work. We don't have much time to talk about EcoKnights per se, but we will in the context of a couple of the activities which are happening. Yeah. Early on, of course, in the previous segment, we spoke at length to Shean, who is a second-year dental student, as well as Ganesh Prasad, otherwise known more commonly referred to as Prasad, who is a fourth and final year environmental science student from UPM. So great stuff. Just a little bit with the other two guests that you've heard their voices as well in the first segment. Speaking also to a second year finance major, Crescenda Christopher, about her involvement with EcoKnights. And you were talking to us earlier, Chris, about how, you know, your interest in environmental science began. Just summarize for us a little bit to catch up listeners who are only joining us right now.
Oh, okay. So I was saying earlier, it was basically when I started elementary school, standard 6.
Right.
So I was 12, and my class teacher, very fortunately, was very into the environment.
Right.
So she advocated things like recycling in class, and you know, you get all these bags from shopping. What do you do with them?
What do you do with them? So that's good. I mean, even at that age, that was probably about, what, 6 years ago? 5-6 years ago?
Oh, you think I'm so young?
Okay, well, all right, yeah, let's just leave it at that, yeah? At the late primary school period, okay, for you. And how do you think, what do you want to do with your finance major? Do you want to support environmental groups such as EcoKnights when you do graduate?
Yes, I do.
That's
I
great.
actually really hope to work with an NGO later on.
Nice.
With my finance major.
Right.
Everybody needs a finance person anywhere, right?
That's true.
So yeah,
Very
hopefully
true.
it will work.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody needs to be in control of finances, no matter what the work is. Now, we also spoke earlier with Jolene Tan, who is a third year environmental science student. So you're also into environmental science already, and you are the current assistant to the president of EcoKnights. Nice.
Yes.
Okay, Jolene, what about you? I mean, like, your degree is obviously not related, and you are a very curious person, right? What do you hope to bring with your curiosity to a group like EcoKnights?
Well, the reason why I choose to work for NGO is because I really want to know how an environmental NGO specifically and how they function, and I would like to really want to know like how all the different stakeholders deal with environmental issues. So working with EcoKnights really helps me a lot, teach me a lot of stuff. Especially my role is basically helping Yasmin with her daily affairs.
Right.
So I have to attend several events with her and learn to understand how to communicate with different stakeholders. And at the same time, we basically working along together in researching and on several environmental issues.
Nice.
Yeah.
And did you request to be the president's assistant? Because I mean, it sounded like you had a plan because you did want to know more about how, you know, like an organization like EcoKnights is run. Yeah.
Yes.
So was that your personal request, or was it just a nice fit?
Oh, it was not my personal request, but
Right.
maybe because during the interview of the way how I describe and what's my passion, and I'm really interested into environmental policy because with
Right.
the right governance, I think that really helps to change the way people think and the way people handle and conserve the environment. Yeah.
Right. Great minds, I tell you. I'm speaking to some very intelligent, ambitious, as well as, I would use the term properly screwed on minds.
Thank you. That's a compliment.
Yes, it is. Also, of course, we're also talking to Shean, who is a second-year dental student. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, great stuff. EcoKnights, how has it been so far, in a nutshell?
I've only been here for a week.
Yes.
But it's been great. I'm really enjoying my time here.
And I like that perspective because it's only been 1 week, like you said. As opposed to, we're also speaking to Prasad, the only thorn among the roses, the only male at the moment. And you've been with, number one, you're a soon-to-be graduating student.
Yes, I do.
4th year in environmental science studies. And you've done quite a bit of work so far with EcoKnights, yeah?
Yes, I've been with them since 13 January
Right. 13 January
2014.
2014. Okay,
Yes.
and the longest
Yes.
amongst everyone here. So it's a different perspective in terms of comparison. And tell us some of the current projects. I understand one major one that we did speak to in an earlier interview a couple months back was the Anugerah Hijau.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
Oh, the current project is also regarding Anugerah Hijau, but this is the workshop part of it. So in workshop, what we do is we call all the finalists of the 3 distinct categories, which is namely the green fashion, green space, and green film.
Right, that's the 3 distinct categories of Anugerah Hijau
Yes, it
2014, of which people enter in their categories depending on which aspect they prefer to work on.
Exactly.
Okay, and how has that process been? It's already, what was the timeline for that, just to catch our listeners up?
Okay, first of all, it started with environmental talks throughout nationwide promoting Anugerah Hijau. And this was a free environmental talk and the promotional aspect of Anugerah Hijau. Next was the finalist selection. So all youths around Malaysia would send their proposals, uploaded to our website.
Okay.
And all the proposals will be sent to the mentors and judges. They will select 10 out of each category. So all these 10 finalists of each categories would come and attend, or I can say attended just last week.
Just last week,
Yes, from 20th to 22nd of June 2014, we had a workshop for them in Alang Sedayu, an eco resort. So the workshop is a platform for the finalists who made for the top 10 of each categories, which gave them the opportunity to meet with their mentors and review their proposal for improvisation to enhance a better final products out of their fashion design or sustainable campers for the green space category and also the green film.
Right. And how was it? I mean, like, share with us, Prasad, kind of you've followed through the project from its beginning. I'm sure the bit of the planning, the later planning stages as well, since you have been with the group since early of this year, yeah? How was it? How was the whole vibe from last weekend?
Everything was just phenomenal. So all the finalists just enjoyed the whole workshop,
right?
Because the workshop made them to be really close to the nature and taught them what is actually sustainable about, and the whole resort was actually sustainably maintained.
And that was I think probably the one that sparked my interest the most when it comes to having a place like that. Yeah. How was that? I mean, ladies, share with us from your perspective. Shenwei has only been with the group for a week. Of course, what about you, Chris, as well as Jolene? How long have you been involved with EcoKnights?
I've been here for a month. Yeah.
I have only been here for almost 3 weeks.
All right.
To a month, yes.
Right. Okay, and you guys were all at the Anugerah Hijau happenings?
Yeah, all of
Yes.
us. Yeah.
How was it, Shenwei?
It was actually, it went very smoothly. Much to our surprise, I guess. And a lot of students, when it ended, they actually came up to each of us and they thanked us for such a platform,
Right.
Yeah, like it was a good platform for them to actually do what they actually want. I don't know, giving them a creative outlet. As well as I think they all made like a lot of new friends as well. I think that's what they really enjoyed.
Nice. I mean, like I love talking to people in your age group and finding out, because people at my sort of maturity level, I guess you call it, sometimes, they have preconceived notions of, either the older generation, the younger generation, the younger generation, such as yourselves. But I don't like, having those notions. So I like to actually speak to people like you, for example, our uncles and aunties, to find out directly what they feel and what they think. Yeah. So that's good to share that. Now, a lot of it is still peer-oriented, isn't it?
Very, yeah.
Very, yeah. So, did you find that many of the participants, Chris or Jolene, came from a perspective where, they are creatively looking for an outlet, whether it's fashion or something else, yeah. But maybe they had less of an environmental angle or awareness. Is that true? Or did they all come fairly sort of knowledgeable with environmental issues?
In my opinion,
Yes,
I
Chris.
was grateful enough that some of them actually came up and talked to us about it. So, firstly, most of them wanted to do something about the environment.
Okay, so that means it was a sort of like a stepping stone for them to find out more. That's great.
And
I think that's what the whole thing is all about.
Yeah, the main concern was they wanted to do something, but they didn't know what to do or where to do it, right? Because if you do it in school, you can join a club.
That's right.
Or activity, but that's where it stops, right? But nobody else outside your circle will know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great job so far, yeah. EcoKnights, congratulations, and thanks to you guys as well for participating and helping and sharing it with your peer group. Jolene, did you have any thoughts to share on that?
I think this platform is really useful for all the youth because it's not only for them to connect with all the other students, and also because they get to approach the mentors. The mentors are able to share their experiences, and now we are actually in the era of globalization.
Right.
And I think that we should really focus on seeing a bigger picture on how to tackle environmental issues. So I think all these three categories, when they combine together and mix and communicate, is a really good platform for them. Yeah.
Nice. Shenwei, anything to add before we go for our next song break?
No, that was all really good.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, great stuff. We have one more segment with my four special guests, a quartet. Yeah, you could come together and form a singing group of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
Barbershop style, man.
Yeah, the EcoKnights, something like that. Yeah, and your songs,
That's a great idea.
you guys will then sing songs about saving the environment, all that great information. Okay, back in a while after this one, Disclosures Latch. Back on Trax Momentum, 11:51. Wow, time really flies by. We got to wrap this up in about 8 minutes time. Lots of things to cover. I almost forgot to say that if you do have a question, well, quickly send us a tweet right now for our special guest today. Hashtag it TraxxFM, TraxxFM, and we'll take it from there. In the meantime, great stuff. Running a little bit out of time, so I'm going to make this a little bit quicker than I had expected. Earlier, you were saying to us, yeah, Shenwei,
Yes.
the whole idea. I mean, share with us exactly what you were trying to tell me over the song break. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yes.
for EcoKnights, we don't just try to educate and promote like environmental awareness. We actually do programs and projects that we want active participation from the public as well. So I think that's it's something that's very unique about EcoKnights.
Great. And you have different experiences. Shenwei, 1 week. So
Yeah.
you're probably coming more from a conceptual perspective,
Yeah.
looking at things that way as opposed to the hands-on detailed activities that Prasad you have more experience with, yeah? And how has it been? I mean, Anugerah Hijau was one large project that you were involved in.
Yes.
What about the other stuff that's happening on a more general level also?
Generally, what we are doing is we do a lot of programs. We have Nights of Nature.
Right?
It's a program. We gather all the youths to actually promote environmentalism and make these youths to go back to their own community, to spread the environmentalism among their community. And what we try to actually project is actually a solution approach perspective. We try, we ask people to do something like Anugerah Hijau. They have to do fashion. They have to come up with projects on
Right.
films and stuff like that.
Right, and it's already related to their passion anyway, whether it's
Yes.
film or
So that's
fashion.
what they do a solution
Yes.
to come up with a project where they instill environmentalism not only in themselves but the people around them who watch them do their projects. So it's a solution approach perspective. That's what EcoKnights are dealing with. Yeah.
Anything else that you've been involved in that you would like to share that has struck you as like, oh, this is really good. I want more people to be participating in activities like this.
It was as I was telling you previously that I was 2011 finalist for Green Film category.
Film. Okay.
So before that, I don't know anything about film and a little bit only on the environmentalism.
Right.
I know a lot about environmental science, but very little about how do we practice environmentalism and deliver such thoughts to the youth.
Okay.
Yeah. So in particular, but generally everyone.
Right.
So I learned a lot of things like upcycling, recycling through it, and how it affects my life and all the participants and people around me. I got to meet people, talk about environment, and this developed communication skills. So
Nice. And you get to get sort of marry it into the passion of film, yeah?
Yes, I did.
Filmmaking is something that is very fascinating that I also have some interest in,
Yeah.
Although I'm not a filmmaker,
so when
of
you
course.
say something visually, it struck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add?
And there's yes you can, and there's so many modes that you can do it via short films, documentaries, and animation, and with the easy access technology that we have these days,
Exactly.
especially with capable people like you being able to quickly just capture, edit, and put a film together, a short film together. Yes,
Yeah,
Cassandra.
talking about films, EcoKnights actually helps host this thing called CLAF,
Okay.
Kuala Lumpur Eco Film Fest, which is happening 17th to 19th of October.
Right.
Yeah, and right now we're actually calling for entries. So if you guys have any environmental films or animations or even public service announcements, like 30 seconds, submit them, and you actually get a chance to win attractive prizes as well as showcase what you have done.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the closing date for that?
31st July.
Okay, so they've got a bit of time, about a month, okay, to submit something, to the film festival.
Yes.
Yeah, in October. Yeah, how about you, Jolene? What in your few weeks that you've been with EcoKnights, what have you learned? That was something that's unexpected. I mean, you came in, with a lot of curiosity, and you already had specific sort of questions in mind, I think, to find the answers to. But what has surprised you?
What surprises me is that because all this while I have been being a student, so most of the time I'm just studying and learning about theories. I don't really know how to put things into practical. And I have no idea why I have never choose to participate in the organization in university. Instead, I choose to participate outside of university. But I think it's really great because I have a lot of exposures and learning to deal things in the real time. And it has to be be efficient and to do things, to multitask and be flexible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've learned a little bit about real life.
Real life, yeah.
But that's what these training programs are
and
for.
basically we also learn on how to convey our ideas into reality.
Nice. Okay, we've got a couple of minutes to go. What would you like to do with your knowledge and experience? I mean, we've got a couple of you wanting to stay, hopefully, when you do finish your programs with a group like EcoKnights. Yeah, but what do you hope? How long are you going to be with the program? Shenwei.
I'll be here until the 12th of July because my uni starts on the 14th actually. So
it's a bit of a short stay for you, yeah?
very short, unfortunately.
What do you want to do with your 1 month, I guess, few weeks of experience?
I actually joined EcoKnights with the intention to learn more about the environment, as well as the environmental issues and the efforts to, the measures to take to tackle the issues.
Sure.
As well as I'm picking up a lot of things here that you will never learn in dental school. You know what I mean? So,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, great. And what about you, Cassandra? Jolene?
Me?
Yes, Chris. go ahead.
I'm actually a social media person with EcoKnights right now.
Okay.
So I've learned to speak to people about the environment basically. So people don't want things to the nicer word of it is not in your face kind of thing, right? You don't want people to keep shoving it down your throat. So
what's the best way? What's the best way to get people to want to accept ideas?
everybody has that little thing because everybody knows that they love the environment. Even if you say you hate jungle trekking or you hate this, but hey, you love going shopping, right? And the shopping mall has to be in the middle of somewhere.
Right.
Right? So it's about picking the passion out of people, what people like, and try to work with that. Yeah.
Very smart and very related to social media and usage of that as well. Something that I should learn a little bit more, not with social media, but with the approach. Yeah, Jolene, what about you?
Basically, I think that I will hope to bring back more towards like learning on how to take the practicality, bring to and practice it within myself and my family and people around me as well, and as well as learning on how to live a much more sustainable life in real.
Great stuff. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. We do need to rush. Prasad, in 15 seconds, what about you?
Okay, in
Yes.
brief, I just think that everyone should think that environment is our home. So just think as your home
Right.
and live sustainably. You know what to do.
Okay,
Yes.
Great stuff, right? And let's share in 30 seconds some contact information for EcoKnights.
Yes, social media, go.
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, so we are on Facebook
All right.
and Instagram and Twitter, and we are all known as EcoKnights. So it's
Spell it out.
ECOKNIGHTS.
Okay, nice. Thank you so
yes.
much. Yes.
And we can be contacted via phone and fax at 0377 821-8361.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Shenwei. Thank you, Prasad. Thank you, Cassandra.
Thank
and
you for having us
Jolene.
here.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We've got the news updates coming right up in 15 seconds.